How's it going, everybody? We are back again for another Dokkan battle video, and today, actually more so tonight, STR Dokkan Fest BOJACK is going to come out on Global. I know I'm obviously a few days late on this. I've been moving back to college and whatnot, but I did want to get this Should You Summon video out, obviously, because he releases, like, I don't know, maybe, like, 13, 14 hours from now, roughly, on Global Dokkan. So I did want to make this quick video because obviously his banner is going to change, right? We have Tech Ultimate Gohan on the banner, but he's currently live on the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta banner, so he's not going to come back on back-to-back banners. So I wanted to talk about who's going to replace him, should you summon or not, and talk about BOJACK as a whole. So without further ado,
let's talk about it!
Okay, so STR Dokkan Fest BOJACK. Now, on my tier list, I put BOJACK at number 5, and I still hold true to that. There's a couple of different reasons for that. Number one, BOJACK, without a doubt, is a very, very good unit. But for me personally, I just consider BOJACK a worse unit than Cooler. BOJACK is literally our carbon copy of STR Cooler, just worse, really. Like, he has some good teams. They do the support passive and whatnot. And then they have a pretty good transformation mechanic. They both stack attack post transformation. It's literally the same unit, just with tweaked like wording per se, right? But there's a number of different reasons for it. Number one, he does not support time travelers whatsoever. Space traveling warriors is obviously a great category without question, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But time travelers, BOJACK is not the savior that the time travelers category desperately needed. I'm sorry, he's not. He's just as bad. If you run him and you're trying to run like a time travelers team, when you're trying to rock all like the blue fusions, as in Vegito, all the other Vegito units, Future Trunks, Mai, or even all the other Goku Blacks on that team and Zamasu's, BOJACK is just as worthless as Ink Goku Black. Ink Goku Black is a better leader than BOJACK is for time travelers, because he at least has the audacity to link up with most of the units on that team. So BOJACK literally does nothing for time travelers, which really, really hurts him, because time travelers desperately needed a new leader, excuse me. And then space traveling warriors, obviously. Now this category, I mean, it's very, very, very good. Just look at the LRs on this list: Jiren, Turles, Baby, Vegeta and Nappa, EZA Frieza, who I've done a bunch of videos, and I still have to do a couple of videos on. STR Frieza, into BOJACK, who obviously is going to be his best friend, of course. And then you just scroll down the list right here. EZA Beerus, Hit, who obviously we're in desperate need of a new Hit unit. We keep scrolling down the list. Cooler is on the team. This Jiren, STR Gatopo, who's obviously amazing. Physical Beerus, and then like physical Final Form Cooler, who's bound to get an EZA. Just so many different good units and characters you can run on the team, right? So Space Traveling Warriors is obviously a fantastic category, and BOJACK does support it and everything, but that's it. Where Cooler does support both categories that he runs. Granted, Terrifying Conquerors needs 2 or more enemies, for him to actually support that category. But that's worth it when in like Super Battle Road situations, of course, right? And then most Terrifying Conquerors units are also on Transformation Boost, which Cooler does automatically support when facing only one enemy. So it works out either way. But here's one of the main things, right? Number one, can be transformed only if you're facing one enemy, starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle. And as in Cooler can transform turn 3 if you're facing a pure or hybrid Saiyan unit. Now Cooler doesn't, BOJACK does not have a restriction of a category, but come on, let's be honest. Obviously, pure and hybrid Saiyans make up 75% of the entire game, of course. So more often than not, you will see Cooler's transformation more often than you will see BOJACK's transformation. And quickly talking about BOJACK's transformation, Both of them stacked attack post-transformation, but here's where I like Cooler better. Cooler has this same part, Key 3, 180% attack and defense, right? And it has that additional chance to launch an additional, that becomes a super attack, that's fine. BOJACK, however, this is where he falters. Cooler gets guaranteed crits against pure or hybrid Saiyans, just without restriction. He just automatically crits against them. BOJACK requires orbs to get stronger. Extra 30% attack and 50% defense with 3 or more, another 30% attack and 50% defense with 6 or more key spears. So, which is obviously really, really annoying, because, you know, like, because also there's not a lot of orb changers on his teams, right? So it definitely sucks. And, like, if you're not running this guy with another BOJACK unit, you know, it also kind of hurts him, considering he has, like, Heraclan, Galactic Warriors, Coward, Revival. Like, you can run you can run, like, Cooler with him, obviously, and then have Big Bad Bosses, Thirst for Conquest, and Fierce Battle, and more often than not, that will be more than enough. But obviously, if you really want to optimize this guy, you need another BOJACK unit, and currently, the only other good BOJACK unit, unless you're running the Friend, to, like, have one transformed full power BOJACK and one untransformed BOJACK. The only other BOJACK that's currently in the game that's usable is the LR BOJACK. So, you know, it's a little bit rough in this situation, but nonetheless, BOJACK is still a very, very good unit. Granted, he does support his category, and obviously, when you run like LR BOJACK with STR BOJACK, it's a deadly combo. It's absolutely one of the best combos in the game, without question. So he's very, very good. I've talked about enough about him as well. Categories: Resurrected Warriors, Movie Boss, Full Power, Transformation Boost, Time Travelers, Terrifying Conquerors, Inhuman D's, Space Traveling Warriors. So many good teams as well that you can run this BOJACK on, which is definitely a huge plus for him. So BOJACK is obviously a very, very good unit, right? Obviously, I do not consider him better than STR Cooler. Now, let's talk about his banner, right? So we have his banner. Obviously, we're getting Zanya is the new SSR that comes with BOJACK, but Zanya is, I'm not even going to bother with her. She's very bad. She's not that one of those good TURs that usually comes out with new Dokkan Fest banners. Zanya now is like, she's pretty bad, unfortunately. Now, here's the main outlier, which will determine a lot of people for summoning for BOJACK, is Tech Ultimate Gohan will not be on the banner, like I mentioned. He's currently live on Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's banner. He's going to get replaced. Now, who he gets replaced with? I mean, they could throw Cooler on there, Pluto and Goku, like Physical Beerus. They're not going to throw Physical Angel Frieza on here. It's way too soon for him to come back. Unfortunately, there's not much they could really do to make this banner better, per se. Like, unless they throw Cooler on here, who's probably going to be the only other good replacement that you could argue. I mean, taking away Tech Ultimate Gohan, but it makes sense because he's currently live on Global right now. You know, he's live on Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's banner. So, you know, it is what it is. In Future Gohan, finally glad to see him coming back on Global for the first time in, like, forever. I know he's been back on a previous banner, but, like, he's basically been non-existent. Physical Future Gohan, obviously, is this guy's best friend, but he's definitely aged quite a bit. AGL Bardock, obviously, still really, really good, but not one of the better units. Android 13's kind of in the same place. He's very, very good, but not, like, as crazy good as, like, BOJACK or Tech Ultimate Gohan is. But these guys are actually pretty rare on Global. They don't really come back that often. So, personally, for me, I would say it might be worth it, I would say. This banner is not really that bad, all things considered, right? So realistically, I would say, yeah, sure. Why not throw at least 1 or 2 multis in here, right? Because, you know, you have a good chance. Like I said, Gohan's not going to be on the banner, but I do feel like, you know, they can make somewhat of a valid replacement for him. Or unless Global says, fuck it, he stays on the banner, which would be ludicrous, right? But let's also quickly look at the timeline for the schedule, right? Number 1, BOJACK launches tonight, which is going to be March 1st by the time he arrives on my time. And we scroll down to the March calendar, right? Realistically, BOJACK is going to stay around for like 2 weeks. So roughly he's going to be around, like, he's going to leave around the 14th to the 15th, roughly around there. And then a few days later, this is when the joint Saiyan Day celebration is going to arrive. Realistically, I think what the rumor is right now that a transforming God Goku is going to come for Saiyan Day, which would be cool. You know, it's not exactly the most hype unit, but it's definitely pretty exciting nonetheless, I would say. So obviously that is pretty exciting, I would say. Well, exciting and not exciting because obviously I want my Dragon Ball Z Broly. I want my Dragon Ball Super Broly or Dragon Ball Z Broly, but we'll take a transforming God Goku. I feel like that would be pretty cool. So just do keep that in mind that, you know, BOJACK is coming out tonight, but we do have the Saiyan Day celebration, which is going to be a yet to be revealed unit for both JP and Global. We have no idea what he could be, so obviously that's going to be pretty exciting. And then as we move into April, right, obviously I'm talking a month from now, of course, but April, we're also going to be getting the dual Dokkan Fest for AGL Python and Tech Transforming Janemba, so just keep that in mind as well. And then obviously we'll have other Dokkan Fest that JP is also about to get a new Dokkan Fest character in like a week or something like that. Not even. Like, they should have one anytime now. So again, final verdict, should you summon on Dokkan Fest BOJACK's banner? I would say yes. Go for it, because BOJACK is probably not going to return until maybe like August or September, so it's going to be a very long time before he comes back, of course, and, you know, yeah, take a shot at it, I would say. His banner is not, like, really bad. In Future Gohan has been literally non-existent on Global, and these two almost never show up on banners. The only bad thing you could say about this banner is Zanya and Physical Future Gohan. And then, obviously, I do feel like they'll replace Tech Ultimate Gohan with, you know, a pretty somewhat good character, I would say. I don't think they're going to completely shaft us. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.